All right, awesome. So I'm not in slow-mo anymore. This is actually the third time that I recorded this video, and I had a bit of trouble with the camera, especially the shutter speed, but that seems to be solved. So right now we're going to do the full video. And I'm recording this video because I'm going to do something new on this channel, which I think is going to be rather unique and very exciting for those of you out there that are media buyers or that are entrepreneurs in the advertising space or that want to utilize the advertising space. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be covering 3 different projects of mine where I'm doing the media buyer, or sorry, where I'm doing the media buyer. Lol. Okay, so where I'm doing the media buying, and it's going to be a 4-week goal. So I have a big goal for each project in 4 goals, and then I have milestones as well per week. And I'm going to be showing you guys what I'll be doing to hit each milestone, and then after that week is done, I'm going to show you guys the results. So what I'm doing, then reviewing the results, and then I'm going to be course correcting wherever I need to. So I think that's really cool because we'll find out that things will not go as planned, as every media buyer has to deal with. And what's really cool compared to case studies that some media buyers do or some agencies do is that a case study is always best case scenario, right? So things went their way. It's not often that they present it in a way where it didn't go their way. Whereas this is quite risky for me because if all 3 projects fail, well, you guys will just see that I'm worthless, right? So that's going to be quite cool. So I'm actually putting my reputation online a bit here, and you can sort of see what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm course correcting, what I'm thinking about, and then maybe also like what kind of mistakes I make, what kind of good things I'm doing that are working, and I think it's just going to be really, really valuable. So I think I'm going to dive into the projects right now, just tell you about them briefly, what the big goals are, what the milestones are, and then at the end of this video, I'm going to shortly touch on why I got this idea or how I got this idea, and then also some of the personal goals I'm having with this media buyer series. All right, so let's dive into the first project. All right, so the first project is actually a long-term client of mine, but this supplement is very new to us. So it's a new brand, new supplement with an older client of mine, or like a good relation that I have with him. And the revenue has been at 1,000. So we just started a month ago. We're kind of at 1,000 a day average right now at the point of recording this, and we're about break even. Those are the results for now. Okay, we don't really yet know how to market a supplement, so I should say what the supplement is about. It's an alcohol counteracting supplement. So if you have it doesn't kill your buzz or whatever. It's more like the long-term negative effects of alcohol. So for example, alcohol hurts your liver. Alcohol depletes your energy, right? And this supplement has ingredients that counteract that. So protect the liver, restore the liver, helps with energy, helps with rehydration, all that stuff. And it's kind of new, right? You don't really see those type of products a lot. You have some hangover cures, supposedly, but that's not what this product is. This is more like a long-term product that you take if you are a moderate, consistent drinker. So it's basically for a daily drinker or a social drinker. And yeah, let's cover some of the goals. So I'm going to look at my screen so I get them right for you guys. And the first weekly milestone, as I've said it right now, is going to be 2,000 a day 1 week from now, at break even. Then the week upon that, we're going to do 3,000 a day in sales at 10% contribution margin. So contribution margin is basically your operating profit. So it's the profit before your fixed costs. So yeah, basically your revenue minus your taxes, so like sales tax, I mean, minus your variable costs for like product, shipping, yeah, all that stuff, transaction costs, but just not your fixed costs. And then the week after that, I want to do 5,000 a day in sales at 10%, and then 5,000 a day the week after that at 20% contribution margin. So we would be making like 1,000 profit a day, basically. So that's the goal. I hope the editor displayed that very clearly for us. I'm sure he has. And then lastly, yeah, just to remind, we started at 1,000 a day. And I want to be at 5,000 a day at 20% contribution margin. And we're not at 20% contribution margin right now. Okay, so then we go to project number 2, which is an arbitrage project. Now, arbitrage is kind of like an old concept. I only learned about it after I was doing this for quite some years. But it's basically where you buy a click and then you sell the click for more than you bought it. So this is a flight comparison site. So if someone searches for a flight on that site, we actually get paid for that search. But if they do multiple searches on multiple of our sort of like airlines that are hosted with us, then we get paid more for that. So one visitor can do multiple searches and can generate multiple clicks that we get paid for. So just to explain it a bit, we get, I think, 35 cents a search. So that's, yeah, we need to make a profit with that. So that is the first project. So a flight arbitrage, let's just call it that. Now, the initial goal, so currently we're probably doing like 200 a day in spend, kind of break even, probably slightly at a loss, I'd say, because we've been doing that. We haven't been doing that for that long, and it's not doing that great at the moment, but I do see some potential in it. So first week's target is 1,000 a day in spend at break even. Week after that is going to be 2,000. Did I say that correct? Yeah. So it's going to be, sorry, I think I said spend, but it should have been 1,000 a day sales at break even for the first week, or after the first week, and then the week after that is going to be 2,000 a day in sales at 10%, then 4,000 a day in sales at 10%, and then 5,000 a day sales at 20%. So, yeah, just looking at that, that's going to be quite a push. I'd say that's pretty audacious. But yeah, that's what it takes to make 1,000 a day profit on that one. And right now we're at like 200 a day spend, 200 a day revenue is kind of like break even. So from 200 a day break even to 5,000 at 20%, that would be really nice. But I do think it's possible. So we'll make it happen, right? Then lastly, we're going to do an info product where we sell courses on trading, basically. That's been a client of mine for very long, for 2 years as well. And we've been running that same product for 2 years. So the first 2 projects, those are both new projects, which kind of makes them exciting, right? We don't know what will happen. There's a lot of weight behind them because they need to succeed, like the alcohol supplement. There's been a lot of investments, so there's a bit of pressure on me to make that happen, and I'm excited like that motivates me, so that's a good thing from my point of view. But then the info product is kind of like proven. We know how it works. It's consistent. It's more about managing how many calls we get and how many closers we have. So sometimes we get a new closer, we'll be needing more calls. Sometimes we'll be making too many calls and we need to shut off the ads because all the closers are booked up, right? So for the info product, the monthly goal, so it's more like a monthly goal because that's just how we work with them, but it's going to be broken down in weeklies nonetheless. But the goal is to be at 90,000 in spend, and that's in pounds, all right? Which equates to about 111,000 USD in spend, which is quite big for like a company in the UK where the population is a lot smaller than the US. So the scale there for that spend is higher, relatively speaking, than in the US, basically. So in the first week, I want to do 3,000 a day in spend at 1.4 ROI. So I have like the day update, how much cash they collected, and I can see the ROI on that, basically. So the ROI on that on the back end needs to be 1.4 on that first week at 3,000 in spend. Then second week, I want to do 3,000 a day at 1.5 ROI. So same spend, just more profitable. Week after that, 3,300 a day at 1.6 ROI. And then the week after that, I want to do 3,700 a day at 1.6 ROI. So you'll notice that these jumps are a lot smaller than the project that comes before it. And it's just because this is more of an operational tweak as well. Whereas the first two projects, I can basically just scale them, and maybe I'd have to give the entrepreneur a heads up where I'm like, all right, I'm going to spend a lot of money. I'm going to spend a lot of money of you, basically, your money. And also like the supplier or the person shipping and making the products, like they need a heads up if I'm just going to boost the sales by 10x. But it would be possible. But compared to like the info product where people need to close on the calls, we can't just 10x the budget or whatever. That's just not feasible for them. And just with that business model where you have people on calls, like it's really hard to scale people, basically. So that's why those steps are smaller. But I wouldn't... Yeah, I do see it happening where I do scale a bit faster or where I improve the ROI sooner, right? Because if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, yeah, that's not really that exciting. So I'm going to be working harder on that to make the ROI higher than these goals. But these are sufficient, and relatively speaking, those spends are quite high for them. So that's why these are still good goals to have. Okay, so those are the three projects. Let's now cover why I'm recording this video or how I got the idea on doing this series, and then we'll touch on my personal goals with this as well. All right, so yeah, we'll dive right in. All right, so let's cover why I'm doing this, because I've been away for quite some time. Main reason that I haven't recorded is I went to Thailand, then came back. I didn't have the same recording space as I used to, so I had to set something up, but that was hard to do at my flex co-working space that I have, and also it was not easily doable at home because I didn't really have a nice space. So quite recently, the handyman came and he did this wall, which is really, really cool, right? Because now I can record videos. I still have to put up a curtain so I can control the light, because as you can see, there's some light coming from the outside window, which, I mean, as a professional, can't happen. But yeah, I wanted to record this anyway, and I'm not that professional. But yeah, those things have kind of been holding me back of recording more new videos. whereas I did want to do them, but I also didn't really know what to do them on, and it takes quite some time to do it. I mean, this is the third time that I'm recording this video because the first 2 times it went wrong. So yeah, it just takes time and commitment, and you have to do it. So those are the excuses for that. And then yeah, there's a funny story on how I got this idea on doing the series. I'm actually doing cycling right now. So I also bought a bike because I want to do a duathlon, and maybe one day I even want to do a triathlon. So I'm kind of hooked on that because I'm training for the marathon. And I'm actually really motivated for the marathon. I love doing it. I put a lot of hours into exercising and all that stuff. And I had a conversation with ChatGPT where basically the gist was, how can it be that I'm so motivated for the marathon, but if I compare it to work, I don't feel the same sort of excitement, right? It's more like just doing the routine. So ChatGPT basically laid it out in 3 parts that stuck with me. First one being that the marathon is a public declaration. So you basically tell all your friends and family members that you're going to do a marathon. So you have to do the marathon, right? You don't want to lose face. At least I would be too proud to do that in a way. I wouldn't just say that and not do it. I would feel bad if I did that. So it's kind of a commitment in that way once you say it. And then secondly, it's also a bit novel or exciting, whereas the marathon, like, I haven't ever done it before, so that makes it quite special, right? And then lastly, there's also a reward in it, right? So if I run the marathon, I'm going to have that experience. It's just going to be very cool and rewarding emotionally as well. So we sat down, ChatGPT and me sat down, and we thought about this. And basically the plan was, well, if we put these components into your work, you'll be as motivated for the work as you'll be for the marathon. So that's why I'm doing this video as well, which is kind of egotistical. I'm sorry, it's not all for you guys. But the first reason is basically that it's a public declaration, right? Because I stated all these goals, so now I have to achieve them, especially once I hit the upload button. And if you're watching this, then I hit that button. So I'm basically screwed. Secondly, well, screwed, no, it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. But so that's a public declaration. And then the second thing is that it's going to be exciting, right? So some of the goals that I've set are really high, in my opinion. So that makes it special, right? That makes it a challenge. Whereas that's the same thing with the marathon. It's kind of like, well, I don't know if I can do that, but if I could do it, wow, that would be really cool, right? That's kind of what I have with the marathon as well. It's kind of like daunting, but still attainable. And that's what I've tried to do with these goals as well. And I think I've accomplished that in a good way. But we'll find out. And then lastly, the rewarding part. All right, so the reward, I'm going to get quite specific, I guess, because I think if I would be watching this video, I'd like the media buyer that's making the video to be specific as well, so I can know what to expect as a media buyer and sort of compare my results with the person I'm viewing. So I'm just going to put it bluntly. I get like a bonus payout on top of some of these goals as well. So if I hit certain revenues, I will get 30% of the profit on first-time customers. That's going to be for the alcohol supplement. That's going to be for the flight comparison site. And then for the info products, quite a hard target. It's going to need to be a 2.5 ROI on the back end. And then I get a percentage of the ad spend. So the last project, I don't really think 2.5 is attainable at that scale, just because skill and efficiency have an inverse relationship, right? If I scale, then the efficiency goes down. So it's kind of like dumb to expect that you can spend 100,000 and then increase the ROI from 1.5 to 2.5, right? So I'm not expecting the bonuses to be there, but I did make some calculations. And the cool thing is that if I hit these goals, I'll be making more than I've ever made. And to put it more specific, I'll be making more than 20K a month if I do so, which would be a personal best for me by quite a margin, because I also now don't have any people on my payroll, because I had reached that goal almost, but I had like so much overhead that it's not really comparable to making 20K right now. So that's the goal. And then the reward, just to also be specific, I mean, why not? The reward, if I do hit that, I really like doing the background here. Well, I didn't really do it. I just like that a handyman did it because I have 2 left hands. But yeah, if that's complete, then I want to paint my house, get new furniture, and just make it nice, because I haven't really done much in my house and I really like doing this. So I think that reward of, well, if I hit these goals and I'll just have like that makeover, I think that's really going to ground that accomplishment, but also ground the sort of like the sense of, hey, if I do well at work, it'll just make my life a lot nicer. Whereas if you always save your money, which I'm quite big on saving, I do spend quite a lot, but I'm quite big on saving, you don't really have that sense of, hey, if I put more in, I increase my quality of life. Whereas if I do this makeover, I'll have that one-to-one comparison, which I think is going to be quite nice. And then, yeah, those are basically the 3 things. And yeah, I also just enjoy doing this, and I wanted to do this for quite some time, record videos again, and this was just that final push where it's like, all right, that's just perfect to spark that fire again, spark up the YouTube channel again, reunite with some of you guys, like the followers. I know that on a couple of like big gaps videos I had more than 100 comments, which is absolutely insane for how small this channel is, which is really cool. I've had tons of emails of people just reaching out. Yeah, I had some cool calls with people as well. There was one guy that that actually watched my video every morning for some period, which was like mind-boggling to me, where it's like, damn, does he really watch these videos that much? So that was really, really cool and really, really humbling. I didn't expect it to be of impact. So that was really cool to see, and I wanna do that again. I wanna help people, and I think doing it in this way, where I set the goal, set the actions, and then review the results of those actions with you guys, and then make a new plan, I think that's going to be really, really helpful. And we'll also see this happening a lot, where it's like it's not going to be like this. At least I don't expect it to be. So that's going to be really cool as well. And then I think it's just going to be a really cool experience. So thank you guys for watching, and then I'll see you in next week's update, where I'll be telling you what I had planned for the week, what I got done for that week, and what the results were of that week. And then, of course, did it go well, did it go bad, and what do we have to adjust moving forward? That's it. Thank you for watching. Excited to have you guys here. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on this media buyer series. And then I hope to see you in the next one. All right. Cheers.